Oh, in
In
5D.
that was way better than mine.
It was actually. It was really quick. It
was
really
actually
personal
fuck you
with
in
them. The last two were like,
particular.
"Here's who I am as a
I
person."
was
All
just
right.
like, I'm gonna one-up Scar.
Okay, you know what the best part of that? Because of what happened before that, I don't know if that got caught on audio.
Oh,
It'll get caught on the recording, but not on the live. So either way, we're all good.
I think just about everybody has done that on their first time though, and pulled the trigger too early.
Yeah, it's all right.
I did it, yeah.
Klops did it too, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
I did it too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nerve-wracking thing, you know what I mean? You're put on the spot, and you're here, and you're like, oh, fuck, what do I say? What do I do?
Well, you know what the worst part is?
And then it all amounts to shit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
When Klops did it, we weren't live, so it didn't fucking matter. He jumped the gun on jumping the gun.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, welcome to another episode. We are 5D Podcast. With us, as always, we have our most permanent hostess of the mostest, Bonsai.
You know, hostess means female,
bottom.
right?
I was gonna say, why the fuck am I a hostess?
And we've got also Klops with us.
Hi.
Wait, why am I a hostess?
We have Scar.
Yes.
That's not his real voice. If y'all didn't
No, it's
tell.
not.
And
no, this isn't his real voice. The other one is, and that's what's
really
This is my real microphone.
He sounds like the cops are chasing him. Like, we almost got him. And then we've got Aqua joining us today. I don't know what's going on. This is the first time I met him, but welcome to the
so
pod.
he was supposed to join last week, but Klops was like, no.
Is Aqua a Kingdom Hearts reference?
No, it's my.
It means water.
I thought it was like Aquafina for all the hairspray he uses.
Damn.
Hairspray.
We've just started. You're already dropping fucking.
No, so he wanted to join last week when Klops invited me to join, me and Kindle. Well, actually, he invited me to join, and then I was like, hey, we could get Kindle, and he was like, sure, that's diversity, right? And Aqua wanted to join, and Klops was like, no, we have enough white guys. So no, and then he wasn't.
I don't think we've locked down the 20 to 30 something white gamer demographic yet.
I feel like
then I'm 28. What are you talking about? And
the
then
only demographic we locked down is the Justin Bieber demographic.
And then Klops said that he was going to be joining like next week, and somehow he's here today. So. Well, because I didn't think he was set up, and he's like, I already have Zoom, I already downloaded Audacity, and I was like, all right, I guess you're in. Fuck it. Yeah, no, because he said he wanted to join. I was like, okay, you got to download Audacity. You got to download Zoom. I was like, go to Zoom.us, download it. You know how to get Audacity, get that shit, and then we can help you set it up.
Well, you know, now that we've talked shop live on the internet, welcome to the stream again.
Yeah.
But no, it's I like it. Thanks for coming. Glad you're here. Weirdly enough, we lost the only girl. We literally lost her. We haven't seen her in a couple
To be
days.
fair, she's just AWOL right now.
Hold on a minute.
She's actually online right now. She just got online. I'll see if she wants to.
Fair enough. All right. Although, before we get too far into it, Klops, we didn't give you much time to talk last week.
It's because we don't like hearing him.
This week for us.
I've heard him speak. It's fine.
Okay. I guess I'll talk about the only thing I've really been doing, which is playing Ancestor Legacy, which is
called Ancestors.
Explain it to me.
Ancestry Legacy is an RTS that is skirmish-based RTS, so it's not a very grand RTS, based around Vikings, Slavs, Germans, and Anglo-Saxons during the Middle Ages.
Did you call somebody and have them make this game for you?
I wish.
This is like all the things you enjoy in a game.
It is. Fun fact, though, it's the same studio that made Hatred.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And this game is complete 180 from that. It's still kind of top-down because it's RTS, right? That's about the only similarity they got. But it's not an action, edgy Hatred game. That's also kind of shitty because you can't see the enemies off screen. They still shoot you. This one, it's just a fun, fast-paced RTS. It reminds me a lot of Company of Heroes, for those of you that are familiar with it. For those that aren't, it's basically a base builder that you have different units that you go and take out supply lines in order to gain control and domination of the map. as well as stomp your enemies. It's a little bit different because it's not as in depth as Company Heroes for that, because Company Heroes, you literally had supply lines that you can cut off. This one, you really don't. You have different villages on the map, and the villages you can go conquer, and they'll give you resources, whether it be iron or food or wood. Some of them have a couple of different things. Some of them have like only one. So it all depends on the kind of like village you take over, or the resources you're getting. You can also send villagers out to get those resources, as well as.
Have you played Endless Legend?
No.
It feels like Endless Legend, and that one you go and take over villages, but each village is like a different species, and they give you a different type of unit with a different ability. Similar
That's kind of neat
aspect of like, you take over all the villages to gain benefits.
Yeah, but the difference is that each faction has their own kind of, I'll say unique, but it's really not unique abilities. I'll get into the problem here in a minute. But like, as you gain resources, you're able to jump tiers of technology, and depending on the faction you pick is how much they cost and what they cost. I've mainly been playing the Vikings for obvious reasons. The story mode is also starting off with the Vikings instead of going to the other ones. I think the Slavs are last. And they are expensive to upgrade.
Though? That's so sad.
And expensive to upgrade their kind of like base tent, because it's not even a town, it's really a tent. To the next kind of technology tier, which unlocks your next kind of unit. Tier 2, I think, for the Vikings unlocks archers and berserkers. So the base unit for the Vikings is the spearmen, which aren't bad, but they're not particularly well-rounded. The last tier for the Vikings is the heavy infantry, which is sword and shield. And each kind of unit has a different, like, it's almost like Fire Emblem, where it has like that whole like spears
it's a little bit of rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, spears kind of beat swords a little more, but swords also beat axes. But it's not as heavy there. They also have different things, like the Slavs have supreme kind of range with arrows, but they suffer from poor morale and leadership. Whereas the Vikings are expensive to upgrade, but they cost a shit ton of resources to upgrade, as well as keep your military in fight, because they burn through food. They literally march on their bellies, which makes sense. However, that's about the diversity of all the different factions. Like, they all have heroes, but there's no real abilities for the heroes. There's like a couple of them, but like boost the stats of the guys around them kind of a little bit. But it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. I've been playing with Fallen a little bit, and we've both lost our heroes in battles and just was like, whatever, I guess we're just going to send more units in. And that's literally how we solved the problem, is just manpower, instead of having this one guy that kind of boosts the rest of them. And you can only have about
a little Warcraft 3, though. The heroes are there, they do a lot, but at the end of the day, pure unit power can always just take over.
Yeah, but it also makes each faction feel generic.
That's fair.
The real difference between the factions was like, I didn't get heavy cavalry, but the Germans get heavy cavalry. But I got heavy infantry to combat the heavy cavalry. The Anglo-Saxons, which Fallen liked, were much more ranged, started with range, didn't even start with melee on tier 1, and didn't get melee until tier 2, whereas I didn't get ranged until tier 2. So he basically, when we were playing co-op, was behind me the whole time, just melting everything with arrows, which friendly fire is also a thing. Like, your guys die from arrows from your guys. Whereas my guys just did shield wall. It just would fucking work through and be the ground and pound on most things. But I felt it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We only played against AI because there's really no co-op in the game besides skirmish battles with AI. Which I feel is kind of lackluster on that front. There are other RTSs that have an actual co-op campaign or actual like scenarios that are built for 2 people in order to fight AI and stuff, which is really fun. And I feel like this kind of missed it. It missed that kind of aspect of an RTS like this, because that was a lot of fun to do with my friends. Now, it does have like 40 single player missions along with 8 different campaigns, 2 from each faction. So right now I'm going through the Vikings. I haven't gotten very far, and it's a completely different feel than the skirmish battles that I've been doing, because it focuses less on base building like the skirmishes and a little more on like the different scenarios. I have yet to control more than 1 or maybe like 3 full units in a instance. Matter of fact, the second instance that you do, a scenario that you do, you only have 3 guys which are 3 spearmen, which is like a quarter strength of an actual unit in that game. And you have to sneak around and you have to steal food and distract guards in order to unlock and get more units for the rest of the mission. So it's not lacking in any single player aspect. I haven't done any PvP yet, and that's next on my list of things to do because I think it'll be fun, but I really want to get good at base building because these kind of games, if you are not quick and know when to like upgrade your units and upgrade your like technology tree, you're just going to get stomped because the other guy is going to progress further than you are at the right time, and then he's just going to roll through and just take your camp out.
Because everything is StarCraft.
Pretty much. It's a little bit different than StarCraft. It's not as... StarCraft, you have way more units, and so it's much more of a horde. This one feels less of a horde and more, I can actually set ambushes and traps, which some units can do, some units can't, and take you out that way, as well as starve you for points or for resources and slow your progression down. One of the tactics we learned to use early on was just to take our base hero and our base unit and just dart them across the field and just immediately take over one of their villages and then take over the villages close to us, because if we took over that one, it would slow them down enough to where they stopped having enough resources to progress. So it does have that little bit of aspect to it. It doesn't always work. It almost cost me a couple battles because we did that. But in the end, it still worked out perfectly because it still starved them enough to where we could take all the villages and then destroy their base. All in all, though, it's a really fun, fast-paced RTS that's really skirmish-based, which I really like. That's the kind of RTS I like. I don't really like the horde mode of StarCraft. I enjoyed enough to play it, but it's not my real cup of tea. Nor do I really like the grand strategy of like Total War. I find that the grand strategy gets a little dull because it has a lot more intrigue to it. And if you're not like one of those people that like to make deals with all the factions, you're really just missing out because now you're trying to conquer the whole world and it kind of folds on itself because you just get overwhelmed quickly with all these grand armies. But a fast-paced, skirmish-based RTS is something really up my alley and I really like. And if you like that kind of thing, I think you'd like it. It was just on sale. I think it just ended today of all day, or actually it would be like, what, 3 weeks ago? For the podcast. It was only it's about 30, 35 for the game, which I think is actually a pretty fair price. But if you can get it on sale, it's definitely worth picking up. I picked up for about 17 on sale, and I still feel that wasn't too much for this game.
Give it a rating, Claps.
I would give it probably 4 spearmen out of 5 spearmen.
All right, all the spearmen. Got it.
All the spearmen.
That took him like 15 minutes.
Klops, that sounds like a game called Total War Arena.
Yeah, but
it sounds like a lot of these are very similar, though, to be fair.
Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is it has an epic soundtrack. It is one of the best soundtracks I have heard in a long time.
Better than Killzone 2? Because that motherfucker's epic.
Yes.
Interesting.
Although less metal and more Viking-y.
I thought those two were synonymous.
They can be. But it's a little bit more folkish, and actually really pulls off really well with it.
Okay, fair enough. But you were claiming that was the only thing you did this weekend. I think you did something else.
He masturbated a lot.
I did.
And they sent a lot of pictures about it. It was weird.
So
I mean, that's because I'm on Chatterbait. What do we expect?
You know, when
Chatterbait, sponsor me.
When it has bait in the name, I feel like they're just asking for it.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, but I also don't know that I want to know what this is.
It's an amateur camming website that you can stream yourself doing stuff.
Which one was the one that, the random one that was out a couple years ago?
It's Chatterbait. I don't know. I've only known about it for a couple years.
No, so maybe this is that same app, but there was one where you don't know who you're linking, and you just link to random people.
Oh, no, that's different.
Was that Omegle? Yeah, that was Omegle.
Omegle's not even meant for specifically that. It's literally just...
Yeah, it's just literally talking
No,
to people
I know,
online.
but the joke was that you never knew who was next, but they were probably masturbating.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Chat roulette?
Makes a little sense.
It was like chat roulette, yeah, exactly. So no, you actually watched a movie that I wanted to see this weekend, but I didn't get to because I was busy doing...
Yes, today on a Monday, I saw Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph Breaks the Internet. And honestly, for a sequel, it was really good. Like, I know sequels can be kind of hard to pull off, but I didn't feel that this one. I didn't feel that this one was bad at all. The only part that I really didn't like was at the very opening. The director and creators or producers or whatever basically had a thank you message at the beginning, which is nice.
They've
but it
been
was
doing that in the Disney Pixar stuff, though. I watched, I can't remember which one it was, but we went and watched one recently. They did the exact same thing. They were like, "This is our movie, and we hope you really like it." And I'm like, if you have to ask me to like it, it's not going to be good.
yeah. I kind of feel it's immersion breaking, and I really don't like that.
It just seems really needy. Like,
Yeah.
you already got paid $1 million.
Smash that subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification button so you
For
get up
real?
to date.
It's like it's in a triple. Like this motherfucker made like $100 million on showing up. He doesn't care if it's good at this point. Oh, you didn't get the plastic Oscar trophy. I'm so sorry for you, Muffin.
Though I will say that it for a sequel, it was kind of weird because I don't really remember the first one. I saw it once a long time ago. I do remember that it was about Ralph and like
I just remember that Ralph once said "Thanks, Satan," and that was the most memorable part.
That was one of the best parts. This one has a couple really good parts that I'll kind of get to.
Wreck-It Ralph is adorable as a motherfucker. I love that goddamn movie. That shit is so goddamn wholesome.
Oh no, it's great, and this one's just as wholesome and fun. It takes place with basically the arcade getting Wi-Fi in the internet. And the real plot device that you see throughout the movie, which isn't a real big spoiler or anything, is that Penelope's game breaks, and they have to get a part to replace it. But the guy at the arcade's like, "That's way too expensive. I'll just sell it off for parts." So it's their adventure in the internet trying to go to eBay's or eBoy, as he calls it, to get that replacement part, and their kind of journey with it. And all in all, it has a really nice kind of paced story arc where it like lets you know what's happening. It shows character development, and then it goes into the internet, and then like their whole journey there, and then it gives a nice little rollout and a nice happy ending. I also like a lot of the
for all pay extra.
One of the things I really liked with the first one was all the different kind of like references that they did, especially with all the video games, and that's definitely here. Only it's expanded upon because of the fact that they're in the internet. Right. They go to Disney.com and they have all the Disney stuff that's there, and it's hilarious because there's some shenanigans that happen in there that you really wouldn't expect.
In the end, like slutty princesses.
Well, there's princesses. They're not slutty.
I'd expect the fuck out of that.
They
do show the scene off and everything.
Did they show the stormtroopers as well in the Star Wars?
Okay, I didn't say to give shit away. No, I was talking about what he was talking about, the Disney princesses. I don't know why you'd go, was it this other thing that we were talking about? No.
I wanted to know because I haven't watched any real trailers going into this.
The thing that I was referencing was the thing that we were just talking about.
You're going to have to put a slight spoiler warning at the beginning of this video.
It's whatever. It's really not a deal breaker.
It's really more about me.
You just spoiled it for him, and he's sad now.
He's always sad. He's just a sad boy.
I'm often also angry.
Yeah, you're more angsty. I think you're more angsty. That's what you and Edge have in common. It's angst.
I'll give you
anyway. And it just expands upon the references that are in there because it has such a broad audience to reach, right? And I feel that it was a nice touch. It didn't feel like what's the movie? Ready Player One, where they were kind of like, look at this thing, right? It was just kind of
again.
It was just kind of there, right? It was a nice reference that kind of rolled through with it. And at the end, it does. It has a nice heart-touching like moment, and they both kind of finish their character arcs, and they both grow from it, and it's really nice. I'm really hoping to see a third rendition of Wreck-It Ralph and where it goes from here. It also tied in, I guess, a trailer that they showed as well at the end, like after the credits. So there is a credit scene, and you should watch it. You should stay and watch the whole thing. All in all, I'd probably give it about a 7 Candy Mountains out of 10. It's a real solid watch. Ooh. It's not a terrible movie. It's not always the best because it's kind of predictable in some things, but there are definitely some great moments that you don't really expect or see coming.
Sounds better than
I
Brave.
didn't watch Brave, honestly, but they
Don't.
did reference that in there, and it's pretty
Really?
funny. Yeah, it's great.
It's not a great movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not Cars, but it's still good.
Cars.
Fuck
Well,
Cars.
so,
We'll watch
slight
Cars.
spoiler, then I'll tell you guys this one. When they reference Brave, it's her talking, and none of the princesses can understand her. And Penelope goes, "What's she saying?" We're like, "We don't know. She's from the other studio."
That's funny.
Oh. Booyaka Shara. I get it.
So
She is a
it was
Disney
really,
princess now.
yeah.
Okay. You know what's interesting about Wreck-It Ralph 2? It's actually not getting as good reviews as I thought it was going to.
Really?
So I'm surprised that you're into it. A lot of people are saying that they basically took a lot of the gimmicks from the Emoji Movie and just
Ooh.
kind of went with that. Like, oh, look how wacky and zany millennials and the internet is. So
Well, they definitely touch upon that, but I haven't seen the Emoji Movie, nor will
well,
I
neither
watch
have I.
the movie.
But again, that was just
Shouldn't.
a couple of the reviewers were saying that. So I'm still looking forward to it and I want to watch it, but you know, I was like, I'm a little disappointed because the first one was so fucking good.
Honestly, I still think the story arc is good. I mean, I could see where that would be a down point for a lot of people. It wasn't the best when they were representing that, but at the same time, I felt that it all in all had a good conclusion. And the stuff that they did pull off really good. It was really nice.
Aqua, how do you feel about the Wreck-It Ralph franchise?
I've only really seen the first movie. I didn't go and see the second one.
What'd you think of the first one?
I mean, it was okay. Had a pretty good ending, I'd say,
Was it happy?
more or less. There's some dark stuff in there, man. Like, I don't know.
Aqua, on a scale from 1 to 10, how stoned are you right now?
Rather,
Rather.
I'll be honest.
You know what?
This is
At
a
least
natural
homie can
state for
count
him.
to rather.
I think it's
One,
past 19 somewhere.
2,
7, rather 84.
I'm pretty sure
11.
rather's the number between 9 and 10. Goes
Yeah.
9, rather, and 10.
Yeah, what you kids are learning in high school and middle school these days is bullshit.
Yeah.
Y'all over here have
And
new
then
There's a
math.
secret number between 9 and 10, which is called rather.
And then there's a number between 19 and 20 called a Dan Rather.
Oh, womp, womp, womp.
This guy.
Okay, so let's take it away from the kids stuff, because this was an interesting flick on Netflix. Unfortunately, my wife is scared of everything, so I haven't had a chance to see it. Bonsai, what did you watch?
Well, it's not a movie, it's a show.
Is it?
It's a whole show.
I was severely mistaken. I still want to see it though, and even worse.
Yeah. It's a whole 10-episode show. It's The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting at Hill House. There's a house, it's on a hill, it's haunted, it's all fucked up.
Just the hill is haunted. The house is
She's
fine. It's like
got
safe.
window eyes. So one of the things I like about it, they really, I mean, this is very modern television, but I think this fits well. You have things like Scream Queens and American Horror Story, which are like long format horror, but horror really isn't built for long format. And so it's kind of a running thing in a lot of the American Horror Stories. They tend to do restarts of the plot throughout the season, or they find a fresh new villain, or things just kind of spill out into weirdness halfway through the season. And they kind of feel disjointed. Hill House makes up for that by making it just as much a drama as it does a horror. So it's just as much about these scary events and these horrible things as it is about the effect that has on these people throughout their lives. So the opening of the show is, a family, like a mom, a dad, 3 girls, 2 boys, big family. And they buy this house that they're going to fix up and then sell. And that's what they do. They flip houses and shit. But the house is severely haunted. I don't know how you word degrees of haunting, but as haunted as a house can be in degrees, it has achieved all of the degrees of haunting. It's
All
pretty
of the
fucked up. It's got
Is that is it like an earthquake scale?
yeah, if this was a Richter scale, this would be fuck.
Okay, so
Right.
actually, this is considered.
Fuck.
It's called the Venkman scale at this point.
Okay, Ghostbusters it up. That's fine. The house is fucked. So these kids are like living in this house. It's kind of in matter of weeks, months. It's not years, but like weeks, months in this super haunted house. And then it's kind of about the effects of that when they're adults. We do this kind of jumping back and forth in time of showing you some of the events of before and some of the events of after, and sort of how it's affected all the kids. And they're all fucked up. One of them's like a severe germaphobe lesbian. One of them's a mortician on the rocks in a marriage. One of them's like a writer who got a vasectomy without telling his wife. One of them's a junkie. One of them's been in and out of a mental institution. Like depending on how old they are, is the ones who are like kind of not as bad versus the ones who are like junkies. So it's kind of cool to have this better balance of horror that kind of helps a long format horror play out a little bit better. I like that. I think it really works. But like anything that's heavy drama, I tend to go, oh look, my Switch. And then like play a game while they talk about their feelings. And I'm like, yep, you should be pissed. You go. Murder, 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 murder. Like things like that just don't hold my attention. That's not a critique of this show doing it. That's any show doing it. And it's not bad. Like I am still listening to it. It's engaging enough. It just doesn't hold all my attention. But apparently that's a huge fucking detriment in this show. So one of my buddies at work is huge on this show. And he goes, did you notice all the hidden ghosts? And I said, what? Yeah, apparently if you're actually looking at the screen the whole time, which I have a really bad problem with doing with long format drama shows like this, there's all kinds of fucked up shit in the background of this show. Like, ghosts and horrors and demons are making appearances or moving in the background or like appearing and walking through scenes. Super fucking subtle. And it really sells this fucked up atmosphere of fucking with these kids' heads. And what really makes it good, towards the end of the show, I will say, I did start putting down my games and my comics and whatever else I was doing and paying more attention, because the end gets fucked up as they sort of loop things back in on each other and explain to you like, hey, that fucked up thing, here's all the context of that fucked up thing that only makes it more of a fucked up thing. And you're like, oh, fuck.
That's fucked up.
And what's nice is they don't just tease you with it until the end. There's one like right at episode 5, halfway through the series, they're like, blam! And you go, oh, this is like some Lost level bullshit of like, couldn't have seen that shit coming, but there it is, and it makes a bunch of sense. That would be super fucked up and only worse now that you've explained it more. Like the show has this great way of taking a horrible situation, and then unlike a normal horrible situation where once you explain it and put it into context, it's like, okay, it's not that bad. It only gets worse. Things only get worse once they're explained. And then the end happens. And I was really disappointed.
Oh.
End of the show is kind of like, yeah, but you know, they all learned how to grow as people, and then things got better.
Oh, that's the worst. Because endings are hard, and I get it, but it's so disappointing.
Yeah, like it, you know, it definitely had weight on them, but really, it almost kind of seems like at the very end, the house wasn't so bad after all. Like it just had personality flaws and how they needed to work through that. And I was like, so it's a murder house with a heart of gold? Like, I legitimately don't understand. But okay. It's a good series. It's 100% worth a watch. I don't know how you do a season 2, and I kind of hope they don't. Like, we're done here. We don't need to do more of this. It's good.
When you set up that way, I just feel like at the end it was like, well, the house, you know, really was just toughening them up to be adults.
I mean, yeah, kinda.
Really cared about these kids.
It's like it kind of like if you overlook anybody who it did kill, it really wasn't that bad. And really, it doesn't kill that many people. In a 10-episode horror series with 5 kids, 4 running adults, and a bunch of other side characters, it's really like 4 people who die.
Only like 4. That's about it.
That's it. You know,
Out of a cast of like 20, if this were an 80s slasher flick, they would have killed them all down to like the last 2.
That's like
and then one of them would die in the post credit. Yeah. It's
Dude,
It's
if 1/5
good.
of the fucking American population died,
things would get better. I don't know where you're going.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what are we talking about again?
How come God used to kill a bunch of people and now he doesn't kill anybody?
Because Thanos hasn't shown up and done it for him yet. We all saw Avengers.
Thanos.
I like that that's all he took away from that. It was like 10 minutes of him not saying anything, and then all we get is
Dude,
Thanos.
I feel like the next one's gonna be like, Batman.
Like 20 minutes later, apropos to nothing.
All right. So there is something that we all watch that I think we should talk about. And it happened.
Have we all been watching Storage Wars? Y'all
Yeah.
fucking see them get that antique clock? I was like, damn, that's
No, we're
$300.
definitely going to talk about that as well. But no, what we need to talk about is the teaser for Captain Marvel. And before Bonsai says anything, I know he's creaming.
Nick
in his
Fury
fucking
dies.
Panties.
I like the spoiler that you know one person can get mad about. It could happen because it's comics.
No. But yeah, so what did you guys think?
I noticed that Nick Fury didn't have his eye patch. And it confused me. It made me think I was watching English, motherfucker, one more time, you know?
Maybe we're all gonna see him lose his eye.
I mean,
You know,
that's a
I saw
possibility.
him knock. I saw him knock in front of her, and he turned around and he smiled. I was like, "Is this Pulp Fiction?"
No, this is probably gonna be a much better movie than that. You
Let's
might not
be
know.
honest.
Oh, let's break the new folks in. I hate everything Quentin Tarantino's ever done. Okay, moving
Oof.
on. Yep, not sorry. Captain Marvel.
Honestly, it looks pretty good. I think it looks okay.
I'll watch
Uh,
it, but I mean, I'll watch every Marvel movie.
Well, it's also Marley's favorite superhero, so I get to go see it whether I wanted to or not. It just so happens that I like Marvel stuff, and it also looks actually pretty decent. I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to do this, like kind of timepiece though, because it's supposed to be back.
I
in the
can't
90s.
wait to see all the angry fucking comic nerds blogging about how it's uncomically accurate.
Oh, geez. I mean, but isn't that every Marvel movie?
Well, no, so here's the way I think of it, right? It's like, yeah, the comics have their own story and their own universe, right? But I take it that, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
No, that's how it's
in
supposed
the
to.
name,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
is
its own
its
thing.
own thing.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to be comically accurate. It's like its own comic, just written by somebody else.
You have to look at it like the ultimate universe.
Yeah.
It follows the broad strokes of most things, but the details are all different. And that actually is confirmed because I think there's at least one Marvel Cinematic Universe comic book tie-in. So there are things that add to the cinematic universe specifically, but are done in comic book form. It is its own standalone universe.
I'm also curious to see how they're going to do the Inhumans, because that show flopped.
So supposedly so they have confirmed Inhumans are done. They're done. The movie is canceled. The show is canceled. They're not doing Inhumans.
It's for the better.
You don't think they're going to reboot that?
Now that they own Fox, they don't need to. The plan all along seemed to be to treat Inhumans like X-Men and fill in X-Men plot lines using Inhumans instead, because they're a pretty fair comparison to each other when you disambiguate it enough. Like, you really can fill in all of those X-Men style gaps with Inhumans. But now that they know, now that they own 20th Century Fox, they now own X-Men again. So there's no need for it.
Marvel owns it?
Yeah.
Oh,
How long before
owns
we
it,
get
which means
Wolverine?
Marvel owns it. Like, Disney can go, here's your toys, go play.
yeah, Disney owns
And they're
everything.
going to. It's honestly, I think it's a good thing. Some of the things they got, and they did make them break it up. They didn't get everything. Like, because Disney owned ESPN already, Fox owned a whole bunch of the Sunday Night Football stuff. They made Disney sell it off so that it wouldn't become
basically the whole
monopoly and they
Fox
wouldn't have
News
majority.
section, I believe, also.
Yeah, so because they own ESPN, which is sports news, they couldn't take any of Fox's sports rights. So they did make them break up some things. It wasn't like they just got it
That's
all.
fair. That makes sense.
And one of the things, like,
Did Disney get like FX and stuff too, or
I
is it-
believe FX was part of the deal. if I'm remembering correctly.
Why are you all of a sudden like, that was the
Uh,
one thing?
No, FX
because-
is a weird thing for them to pick up because of FX and FXX.
Yeah.
They're kind of a lot more adult. Like one of my favorite shows right now, You're the Worst, plays on FXX. That is not Disney friendly. Like,
right, and
that
I really like
goes
Always
against-
Sunny in Philadelphia, which is also not Disney friendly. So I
So
wonder
and
what's going to happen.
that actually was one of the big questions when that happened: is what's Disney going to do with FX? They didn't sell it off, at least not that I've heard. Disney kept FX. So what they're going to do with the future of that channel, we have no idea.
Huh.
It's gonna be
But-
the new Disney XD.
I'm
Oh Jesus!
Disney XXD.
Yeah, I was gonna say if XD stands for extra large dick.
But as far as them getting the rights to X-Men back, I think this can fix a lot of stuff. And a lot of people are like, how do you squeeze the X-Men in the cinematic universe? You just do. Sort of their whole thing is that they're mutants who've been in hiding for years. So if they just show up at a random, be like, where have you been? They can be like, hiding. And then you're going to have no choice but to go like, yep.
Dagobah! We were at Dagobah!
No, but like they literally are like a bunch of people who have crazy abilities, and one of them is the most powerful psychic ever to live. Yeah, it
I was
fucking
just
makes sense that they were just
making-
right there, but they were just like, we're not right here, and then people have to be like, yep.
I was just making a reference joke to being owned by Star Wars as well.
No, I get you. I'm just like it's the same thing. Like fuck it, you can say anything because they.
Fuck it, I want
they
Jedis in my
literally
next
do
hero movie.
anything.
Yo, if I
mean,
don't see Darth Maul in the next Avengers killing Thanos, I'm gonna be
Dude,
pissed.
to be fair, I feel like the Jedi would get their asses stomped with the fucking level of superpowers we're seeing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Probably.
It would still be great though.
Well, for the fucking 10 seconds we see them on screen.
Yeah.
I think it'd
Just-
be great.
Like even Nick Fury
They're
versus
on-
Mace
They're on
Windu.
screen 10 seconds. Thanos just
Yeah, right. He farts
Bitch
and they all
slaps
just, it's so
Yoda.
great. So,
Snaps his-
so okay, back to Captain Marvel though. It looks good, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Brie Larson.
No, I know
Brie
you and your
Larson,
obsession.
Brie Larson.
Wait, guys, I just thought about it.
Uh-oh.
Which one?
8.
7, whatever the newest one is.
8.
7. No,
The
7.
number after
Oh, 8,
7
yeah.
is typically 8.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
They did not
Oh.
break that for this.
Did you see how Luke faded away?
Yeah.
That was Thanos killing everybody.
I feel like that was Thanos, dude. I don't know.
Oh no.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, this is.
I
Let's start
feel
this.
like 5 months of contemplating just hit right now for him and like
He's had this on the background running in his brain for 5 months, and it just struck gold and was like, wait a minute.
So what happened was.
Yo, think
the world
about
just
it.
burst into code like you're in the Matrix right now. Do you know fucking kung fu?
No, you know what? We're doing this. We're starting this fucking rumor. This is a crossover rumor. From
I'm
here on out,
tweeting it.
Disney is merging these enterprises. Luke Skywalker was not killed by stupidity and shitty writing. He was killed by Thanos.
That's
was
the
killed
next
by
Guardians of the
Thanos.
Galaxy movie is the
At
Guardians are cruising around their
Marvel.
ship and then Princess Leia slams into their windshield.
Oh
That'd be
yeah.
I'd be down with that one.
Carrie Fisher hasn't been dead. This is just the largest under wraps Hollywood thing ever.
Oh yeah.
They've all just been keeping it on the down low, so when she shows up, they can be like, "Bam, Carrie Fisher," and she's like, "Not dead, bitch." That's exactly what she'd say.
Yes,
too.
that is
That's
totally what's happening.
At Marvel Studios, Luke Skywalker faded away because of Thanos, huh?
You should tweet
Are you
that
tweeting
right
that?
now.
I just did.
Nice. Oh my god, yeah, that's gonna be the greatest part. We're the only fame we'll ever get was that one
Cops
tweet.
retweet it.
Cops retweeted.
We are our own social network.
Why did you go fucking Arnold?
I don't know. I felt like he would do it.
Didn't Fox own Arnold, and isn't now that like
Fox
part of the
owns Arnold.
Oh my god!
Oh,
No.
Tweet that shit
Terminator
too.
Princess.
It's all a circle, bro.
They're the ones who made him in a lab, and now Disney owns that lab.
Yes.
Oh my god.
This is
All right.
unfortunate.
This is
So anyways, I I had not had any opinions about the Captain Marvel movie, and now I'm in. I'm interested.
Now opinions are had.
Now opinions are had. She looks at. I know nothing about the comic book, but the suit looks good.
Well, so the one thing that I think, even if you don't read Miss Marvel, that most people can make a comment on is the Skrulls. Skrulls show up in most of Marvel. If you read comics in the 90s, you read something with fucking Skrulls in it. And the Skrulls look on point. I mean, it's what they need to look like fucking pointy-eared green dudes in purple hats. Like, we seem to have nailed Skrulls.
Make sure you have them purple hats, you sons of bitches.
Hey, I'm saying no fucking purple hats, you get the fuck out. Next goddamn X-Men movie with Disney, there better be some goddamn yellow spandex.
Oh, and that's what I said. Like, how soon before we get Wolverine in the cinematic universe?
Oh, I gotta imagine that's being rushed.
Yeah, I mean, even though they totally said that last movie.
So that's another one of those weird lines in the sand you have to draw, though.
Yeah.
You can't tie him in with everything else because it doesn't fit the Marvel brand.
Unfortunately.
Well, the Disney Marvel brand.
Yeah, I'm gonna say rated R is shit. Rated R
But
as shit.
at the same time, Disney's not the kind of company to be like, money, we're not into that.
I was gonna say, aren't they making a PG-13 Deadpool?
Yeah, they
Once
are.
Upon a Deadpool? Yeah, so
Hey,
like,
to be fair, I don't think that every goddamn comic book movie needs to be rated R now, like everybody else thinks they do. Like rated R Hellboy, I know a lot of people are excited about, but let me tell you, I have 15 issues or 15 volumes of Hellboy sitting over there, and not one of them is at all rated R material.
Well, to be fair, that's not true. They do a lot of blood.
No, they don't. Hellboy is not that bloody. The blood is incredibly minimal.
Yeah, but it's still blood. I thought that was
PG-13 can have blood, it just can't have like excessive gore.
Well, all I know is that people get fucking straight up impaled and ripped apart with tentacles crawling out of them in the Hellboy universe.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
in
not
the
like
comics.
guts and gore. It's usually just like an arm will pop off with no blood and a tentacle will be where it was. It's not a mature comic. Hellboy is not that dark.
I have them all as well. I don't know.
I'm literally reading the final volume right now where he's fighting the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and the only blood was where he got shot 3 times, and there was just like red on him a little bit, and then somebody followed a couple of like blood spatters on the ground to find out where he went. That is it.
I don't know. I'm sorry, but the Perlman
That I'm retweeting this tweet, but I'm also adding a bunch of hashtags.
Oh,
So
no.
far, I got hashtag Marvel, hashtag Star Wars, hashtag Disney, hashtag crossover, hashtag comic books, hashtag nerd, hashtag nerdist. So I'm hoping they'll get it. Hashtag mind blown and hashtag 5D podcast.
How are you not out of characters?
Because hashtags are shortened.
eh.
Okay.
So my great genius idea, right, Devin? I think you'll like this. If they add it, is like at the end of Infinity War 2, right, or whatever the hell it's going to be called.
Yeah. Not Infinity War.
Advanced Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Call
Plus.
of Duty 18. Fucking. So at the end of it, right, it's like Thanos fucking like facing off against everyone, right, and then like cartoonishly he takes a zipper from the front of him, right.
And
Pulls
he's
it down,
Deadpool.
and it's just Deadpool, and it's like, hey, am I an Avenger yet?
I also really like the whole like fan thing of like him replacing Stan Lee, like dressed as Stan Lee in all the like cameo parts.
That'd be pretty funny.
Like
It'd be
Ryan
great.
Reynolds or Deadpool?
I actually saw a
Deadpool
pretty
Ryan
good
Reynolds.
Stan Lee idea. You can still have him live on forever. Put him on like
Pictures and like
newspaper
murals,
clippings and magazines, and yeah, you know, like
or like graffiti
man
or
survives Thanos,
or you know, just like the side of Thanos' ship, for example.
something. Why are we stuck on Thanos?
Because it's funny, dude. You just
It's
add Thanos to everything.
Let's
Hey,
talk about
like I
Batman.
said in my fucking review, that shit hit people hard to the point where that girl was
Listen,
crying in the
all
middle of
I'm-
the goddamn theater.
That's
All I'm
right.
saying is I killed Thanos' car in Rainbow Six Siege 2 days ago. So
I know
Thanos'
not
car.
what that means.
Hey,
It was
all
the
I'm
guy
saying
we were
is
playing against. His
Deadpool
name was
beat
Thanos' car, and we killed
Oh.
him.
he got deaded.
Deadpool
got-
beat Thanos in the comics.
He got deaded right in the dome piece.
Did he?
Yeah,
Huh.
Thanos versus Deadpool. He wins.
Because I know at one point all the Eternals tried to take him down and failed.
Like, to be fair, Squirrel Girl beats Galactus, so they haven't introduced her yet.
Oh yeah, there's that. Ooh, that'll be interesting.
That sounds so unenthusiastic.
I'm like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
it's
no
like
idea how
this
that's
thing.
gonna go.
Yeah,
Oh,
but, like
man.
that's it. The Squirrel Girl has the ability to not lose. Basically, she's the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. She has beat Thanos, or she's beat Galactus. She's beat all kinds of like absolutely ridiculous, out of scope villains.
Who would win, Thanos or Galactus?
With or without the Infinity Gauntlet.
With
Thanos.
without.
But Galactus with the Infinity Gauntlet, we all fucked. He got to
Oh,
wear it
yeah.
on his like pinky
Fuck.
finger, but that's like the pinky ring of death. He bitch slaps the universe back into nothingness.
Yeah.
What about Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet?
I actually think Galactus might have the edge.
What about with the Infinity Gauntlet with 2 stones?
We're not doing
No,
this.
I
We're
think-
not doing this.
We're gonna do this for the next 10 minutes.
What about
Yeah.
one stone, but it's only the Mind Stone?
Yeah, no, I hate you.
What if he doesn't have the gauntlet and he just has the Mind Stone?
What if he has the gauntlet, but he's wearing it as a hat?
I almost wish that if he did, he would just like headbutt with like the fist. You know, just like bah! Special
Because
attack
are the
move.
worst.
What if he has the Infinity Gauntlet, but he's wearing it on his chin?
It's a gauntlet, not a fucking ball strap.
What if they catch him fucking the Infinity Gauntlet? Oh, like,
What if he has the
Alright.
Infinity Gauntlet, but it's on his dick?
Masturbating with the Infinity Gauntlet's like giving yourself the stranger.
it's like giving yourself to stranger.
That's unlimited power
And,
right
and-
there.
and the weirdest rash ever. All right, next up, because I'm done with this goddamn conversation.
What if you masturbate with the Time Stone?
Do you come twice or 3 times?
No, you come forever.
Infinitely.
Yeah, I was just say forever. I feel like after a while you're just like, okay, I'm getting cramps everywhere. This is not fun anymore.
My body doesn't have more fluid.
It just hurts now.
Death by snoo
Why is there
snoo.
dust?
All right. I want to say I noticed one thing there, Scar, you asshole.
What?
You didn't join the FML League.
Oh yeah, shit.
So he
Yeah.
just
Hold
noticed
on,
you're
fuck.
black right now.
Now we gotta send it to Aqua too.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where's it at? Where's
Y'all
the
need
link?
to join
Down.
this
Here we
shit.
go. Okay.
Because we're going to talk about it. I think this is it. I think the fall season's done.
It is. That was the last one of the fall season. So, do I get like a crown or like cash prize? Give me winnings.
You get nothing. We still have to decide what those cash prizes are going to be.
Now I am sad.
Now I'm sad.
I make very sad faces.
Okay, so this week, dude, Klops has been cleaning up the last couple of weeks.
Klops is cheating.
I'm not cheating.
How do you cheat?
I don't know.
but Klops found a fucking way.
Yeah.
I wish. Then I'd be number 1 on the leaderboard instead of number 2 with the like lead rank of the week.
By the way,
Who got that number 1? Play him.
yeah,
Me did.
I wasn't gonna get 1 or 2 when I neglected to put my picks up for like 3 weeks at one point.
I think you're just talking about for the week, right?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
FML League, for those of you that don't know, is Fantasy Movie League. It's like fantasy football, but for movie nerds, or I guess like D&D, but for not regular nerds.
Well put.
Yeah, anyone can join the FML. FML is that you have your own movie complex. You have to fill out 8 spots in your theater, and you only get $1,000 budget. Some of the movies might be $600, while some of the movies might be $10. You try to estimate the most grossing films that you can get for the week. And at the end of the week, it locks in your score, and then you're able to play along with other people like myself or Eduardo or Devin, and we all compete on a fun little scale. And we want to add cash prizes to it eventually, or maybe just prizes. Maybe we'll just send you a
Whoa,
goddamn.
when the fuck did we discuss cash prizes?
To be fair, though, we did, and we decided, maybe not cash prizes. Maybe it's like Steam gift certificate or some shit.
Plus, it's only been the three of us, so it hasn't really been that great for cash prizes. We all do it for fun.
Yeah,
I think it would be fun to have a little bit of a.
Bonsai would rather give you a handy than cash at this point.
I mean, I'll take that too. That's fine. Throw a little beard in there, big guy.
I think we
get
have to
something
do
going.
something to it. Oh, maybe I have to do it. I think I have to officially open the next season. So
Yes, go forth and open the season. But yeah, so we'll see where we end up after the fall season. We're gonna add a couple of folks. Yeah, and before we say goodbye, I want to get this bring this up because we rarely bring it up, the FML thing. But we actually have a game. We've talked a lot about movies. There was a game that was played, and Scar, you want to take that away?
Oh yeah, Hollow Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to work your fucking bullshit FML thing.
Yes, it's mine. I invented it. Give me all the credits.
Yeah. I'm gonna close off of this real fast. Oh yeah, so Hollow Knight is like a 2D Dark Souls, basically.
Oh, I
Where
hate it
you-
already.
Yeah, but it's not as impossible. It's just really fucking annoying because you'll like, it's like it's a platformer, but Dark Souls edition. You know what I mean? And
I like
so
already.
yeah, so there'll be times though where like you'll be like jumping over like a pool of acid that you don't know is there because it's below your fucking vision, and you'll go to jump and like dash or something, and then you're just like, oh well, I'm fucking dead. Thanks. And then you'll do it like 3 more times because you're like, was there a platform over there that I could have made it to? And then you have to restart.
Oh,
So
sounds terrible.
Talk about the art style. What about the art style of it, though? You said it's Dark Souls-ish, but
it's Dark Souls-ish and just like not really the art style, just more of like what you're doing, which is just going and upgrading your weapon and the cool shit you have and killing things with it.
Oh,
do you get the equivalent of like Souls, where like you would end up collecting things?
You actually gain a substance called soul from striking enemies, which you can use soul to use like your I don't actually remember what the ability is called. It's basically your chest laser as Iron Man. You can use it to do that or to heal yourself, and that's pretty much so far all I figured out you can do with it.
And do you lose that ability, or do you lose souls if you die?
When you fully die, because like say when you fall in a pool of acid, you lose your health bar basically in sections. So when you die, you reset to where you last were, but you have 1 less point of health. But when you fully die, you have to kill basically your shadow. I don't remember what it's called either, but your shadow, which is left where you died, and you respawn at whatever the save point was that you last found, that you last sat at anyway. So basically like a fire, but in this game it's a bench. And so you have to restart to that, and then you have to go and find and kill your shadow, or else you don't. You have a broken soul vial, which will only hold about like two charges instead of 3, which can mean fucking everything in that game because I mean, at least for me, because I fucking suck at it. So
if I remember correctly, the actual art style is like a kind of dark cartoony style that is a 2D platformer that has mostly
did his job. Purple. The art style around here probably. So.
Right, but at the same time, we're also having an audio podcast that no one can see.
That's true. So basically. I don't know how to
fight.
I don't know how to describe the art style of it.
I would kind of describe it as really dark tones with like blues and purples, along with a highlight of like white outline because your character is black and white, like mostly black and then white head.
I feel like
and white
Pops
arms.
wanted to do this review, and
I feel like he did. Yeah, no, he fucking. You guys told me to start talking about it.
I'm just trying to help you along, buddy.
All right, give it a rating.
So far I haven't beat it. I've probably made it like maybe a fourth of the way. I'm actually gonna play it after this shit. But I would give it like an 8 out of 10 right now. I mean, I get pissed off at it, but just because of how good it is, like besides the fact that I suck, it's a really good game.
Okay, that's fair enough. Oh man, Look, guys. We made it all the way through, and I think Aqua said like 1.5 sentences.
Also, if you go to Humble Bundle right now, you can pay $12 monthly and get Hollow Knight for free.
I already have it.
For $12.
We
already
have
have
been
it.
pimping out a lot of stuff today, and we are zero sponsored. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Dude, I think the easiest one would be like Humble Bundle. Literally, that's you get fucking Humble Bundle sponsored pretty easily. I've heard, anyways.
Well, we need to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Somebody that's not me, get on that.
That
All
was
right.
final words.
That's
Final
your turn.
words, Scar.
No,
Final words.
Yeah.
Did you know that Amazon Prime has a Uber Eats like delivery system?
yes,
I did.
Yeah,
it's called Amazon Restaurants. It's great.
yeah, it is, and I really wish I could order it, but it doesn't deliver to where I live. So
Take that, you piece of shit. Clubs, final words.
I really liked Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yay! Bonsai.
Klops really, really, really wants to zig a zig. Ah.
I feel. Wait, aren't they making a comeback? Isn't there a Spice World 2 movie coming out? Oh, we're gonna have to investigate this and talk about it later. Aqua,
You
final
can't see the
words.
distaste on Bonsai's face, but it's very distasteful.
yes, it very much is. Aqua, last words.
For anyone wondering, my father, I found out just recently. His name is Scar98K or Catnip Addict.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's fucked up. He actually joins the call.
5D
He'll join
podcast.
Discord and be like, "Hey, Dad."
I feel like
And-
this is a sexual thing y'all got
No,
going
and this
on.
guy wants to come and hang out with me, and I'm like, we're gonna be like walking through Walmart, and you're gonna be calling this 6'7" black dude dad. Like,
That'll
what?
be adorable.
Oh, it'd be great. Then you can Yoda him around.
That'd be pretty great.
All right.
Find an oversized
Get the
skull.
chicken, you will.
Check us out on Metagame Network, twitch.tv/Metagame Network. We do a Tuesday night, 7 to 9, mostly RP'd World of Darkness. We are calling it Carpenter. It's been fun so far. Check it out. Come say hi to us and watch us just roll some dice, very poorly in my case.
They also host me on twitch.tv/The Catnip Addict.
Mostly. Sometimes. Then he
Mostly.
upsets us, then we cut him off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Check out our website at 5dpodcast.com and listen to other episodes of 5D Podcast on iTunes and Podbean.
If they don't have me in them, they're garbage.
I
That's
don't
not
believe
true.
you.
We're garbage with you, buddy.
Yeah, I was about to say,
fuck.
you don't make this better. And on that note, bye.
See ya.
Yeet.